Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you too. Oh my God, it's been forever.
I know, but I feel like we've been like watching each other and connecting and working.
Absolutely. We went through the pandemic.
That was
I seen you kind of close in on that. I didn't see a lot from you. I know that really impacted your business because you're hands-on.
was.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't do any hands-on at all now.
really?
Not
Oh,
at all.
they're missing that gift.
I know. Well, I have my own health conditions and it was meant to be, really.
Yeah.
Because the work that I got the most joy from doing was really the sort of the hypnotherapy and meditation sessions. It was that I was doing with the hypnobirthing. It was that I was doing with all the smoking cessation. It was that I was doing with the fertility. The hands-on stuff kind of went with it, but it was that was the magic that was making things happen in people's lives. And it was that helped me as well in my own sort of life journey. So it just kind of kicked me up the bottom and made me do what I'm meant to do, I think. Well, that's what I believe. So it was just like a divine moment, really. Like, stop messing about, do what you're here to do, do what you're meant to do.
I
And
love it.
I feel like a lot of people have had that kind of experience as well. It's
Mm-hmm,
life's short, get to it. Whatever it is you're meant to do it now.
Well,
What daughter's doing, by the way.
COVID was the perfect pause. It was the perfect
Isn't
pause
it?
because it was brilliant for me. Everybody wanted to be heard. Everyone was home and locked down. They wanted to communicate. They wanted to share their message. Oh, Brains, I forgot to tell you. We're here on the edge with Amanda Joy Harrison from the UK. She's coming back to update us on what's going on. We just jump right into the conversation. But I haven't seen her forever and I miss her. And this is one wonderful person. You guys have to check out the picture that I've posted, her postcard picture. It was one of my all-time favorites. So we're talking a little bit about.
I'm having a cup of tea as well out of my cup. I've still got this.
May your cup runneth over.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been seeing what your daughter's been doing as well. I absolutely love her social media posts.
Oh man, she
Wows
is
me.
she
Like,
is
amazing,
really,
so creative and
it
talented.
really impacted her a lot too, the theater. She just thought her career was over. And I
Yeah,
told her not even, you choose what you want to do. And you have really been able to, as they use the term, pivot to
yeah.
bring to light some things that you were already doing. Share with my brains a little bit about your background and where you are at this point, and we'll continue the conversation.
Well, my background is kind of a bit of a patchwork quilt of all sorts of different things. Um, Mostly, I worked in caring and nursing. I worked within the NHS. I looked after patients who were quadriplegic, ventilated. Most of my patients were like Superman. Do you remember Superman? Had a tracheostomy. Yeah. So a lot of all my patients were ventilated, needed machines to help them breathe, and they were all paralyzed from the neck down. And I worked in
I
that.
didn't know you were I knew you were working kind of with that population, but I didn't. Wow.
So I was nursing for quite a number of years, but I just saw gaps in the care work that was being delivered, and I just thought these people are emotionally having a really, really tough time, and these
Mm,
people are
mm,
going through a massive change in their lives, going from being very able-bodied, being very talented, very creative people, to having to be in a body that isn't moving anymore for them. So they
mm.
were having to go through big changes, and people were experiencing physical pain, even though they had a spinal injury, and there was no real counseling, or there was no real sort of support for the emotional adjustments and pain that they were going through. But it was nothing but just opiate based medications. And
Mm.
I worked with a lovely gentleman who said to me, you know, when you give me this pain medication, it doesn't stop me from feeling pain. It just stops me from being able to tell you that I'm in pain
Oh,
because I'm
wow.
out of it. And I was like, okay, this is not what I got into. This is not what I got into nursing for. And that's
Wow.
why I went into like the holistic medicine. At that time, I studied acupuncture, I studied body massage, I looked at energy work, Reiki, and I studied NLP and hypnotherapy, because those were the things that I saw work with those patients in the hospital.
Mm.
We had all sorts of people come in, like shaking things and burning stuff and chanting, and we had to go at
And
everything.
then it must have been me incarnated, because I burn and chant and sing and dance and play instruments, all that kind of stuff. My husband goes, "Where did this come from?" And I said, "It came from the source, because it
Somewhere.
lightens up." Yeah, it lightens it up. It lightens it up. It makes you connect.
It does, but I had no idea about any of that. It just looked like some weird stuff at the
Yeah,
time.
some
I
hoo
didn't
hoo.
understand any of it. It was definitely woo woo, and it was quite a long time ago as well. So you know, even hands-on healing was really weird, and you know, nobody did a mindfulness at
But
all.
you did that, I mean, so beautifully, because you were the first person that had turned me on to hypnobirthing and what that was
Right.
about, and then massage, and then you had just opened up this beautiful space, this beautiful clinic. I was so excited for you, and then things just kind of folded inward. So
Do you
what
know, it was
happened?
well, there's a couple of kind of elements to that story. Well, the beautiful clinic was my golden carrot. You know, they say that what's the carrot that's been dangled in front of you?
Right.
It was my golden carrot. When I was working there, I was working with celebrity clients. I was working with like royal family members. I was working with the successful, the rich, the famous.
Elite.
And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was completely wowed by that. I
Mm.
was like, this is amazing. It's so exciting. But what it did was it validated who I was. And you know, I've done work on myself, you know, since then, and recognized that actually the only person I need to validate me is me.
I
Um,
know.
and I just so this was like a whole heap of external validation, but with it came other elements that wanted me to change. They wanted me to change how I looked, how I sounded, how I was, so that I was more polished.
Oh, really?
I just couldn't be that polished.
Honey, you
Just
look like a piece of brass. There could be no more polishing. Probably what they needed to do is kind of come down to the surface. But I
yeah.
get it. There's a certain level of excellence and standard that when you're paying that kind of money, because when you're dealing with that kind of clientele, you are charging top dollar. So,
Yeah, it was exciting and it was a wonderful experience. But my instinct was saying, no, 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 this is not for you.
mm,
And in the end, I just had to get back out on my own and go back to being the womb whisperer and go back to supporting women to have beautiful natural births, and to just to get back to being me, Amanda Joy, the therapist. And I got back into it. I was in the swing of it. My practice was absolutely booming. It was all going really, really well. And then lockdown. The government shut down our businesses, so I couldn't travel to work because we weren't able to travel, and I wasn't able to work with clients. And it was the beginning of March 2020, and I went home, and I thought it'll only be a few days. It'll only be a few days. And then after a week, it'll only be a couple of weeks. It'll only be a couple of weeks. Meanwhile, there's no money coming in. I'm still having to pay rent on my business premises. I'm still having to pay business rates. I'm still having to live.
Right,
And
absolutely.
like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How long is this going to go on for? And after sort of 3 weeks, I sat on my sofa and I was just, I cried. I just
Mm.
absolutely sobbed. I worked so hard to get to where I was. And then I realized there's loads of people in need right now. Everybody's feeling like this. Everybody's in turmoil. So I took my clinical hypnotherapy business online, started working on Zoom,
Mm.
and I got really busy very quickly. Lots of really scared people, lots of really fear-filled
Mhm,
people, lots of
mhm.
really anxious people, lots of people like just struggling with being at home with the kids and the husband and you
Looking
know,
at themselves
oh,
in the mirror,
that's
they were struggling with that too. It was like, oh my God, is this really
yeah,
who I am? But they came up out of the ground, they were living the imposter syndrome. They were used to making all of the money. You had the mother that was the executive and the tight pencil skirt and the $5,000 red bottom shoes, sitting home, scratching her head, trying to figure out the math for her kids, homeschooling.
absolutely. Homeschooling was horrendous, wasn't it?
And the poor kids, they didn't even realize, Amanda
No.
Joy, those little people, who they belonged to and what they were. They really saw what was going on, but everybody was in a kerfuffle. So outside of the business aspect, what did being in isolation and COVID teach you about you?
Oh my goodness. It was such an incredible time of reflection. It really was. I recognized how much I was alone in the world.
Mm.
Because my business provided me with contact with so many people from early hours in the morning till late in the evening. And I was doing the radio show as well. So I was
Mhm.
interviewing people, I was going to the radio station with a team of people there. It was so much fun. And then I was, working. And then when I was home, I was alone. I was alone. I was by myself. I hadn't been alone and by myself for a long time. I recognized that I used busyness to occupy myself and my mind to avoid hearing the parts of me that hadn't had a voice before, that hadn't been able to speak. Some of the dark stuff from my childhood and my past came up for me to deal with, because in the silence and in the
Oh,
quiet,
right.
it came
Silence
out.
can
It came up.
silence can be deafening.
It was tough. It was
Yeah.
tough. It was
It taught
incredibly
me
healing.
to it taught me to again self-reflect, but also gratitude. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I've always been a grateful person, that's
Mhm.
one of my trademarks. But just the simplicity of life,
Mm.
looking at what I really didn't need, looking at really what wasn't important, looking at how I responded to certain situations, um,
Yeah,
looking at how I validated myself and how I support others, you know,
absolutely.
and realizing how precious time was, because I'm telling you, folks was falling like dominoes. I was like, what is the numbers were stagnating. I had no idea, and I'm just talking about here, San Diego or the United States, but we're talking globally.
Yeah.
And no one has really kind of assessed really what that number is right now. And then we had
No.
some, and then we had some joker. running the country that was telling everybody,
He didn't have anyone better.
yeah, this is well, this is a lie, this is a trickery, I got it and I survived, it's all right, girl, and it's not real, and don't take the jab, but we're gonna have a super spreader party. Girl,
Oh
it
my
was
goodness me.
crazy. It was psychedelic.
We had government country lockdown, but the government were throwing massive parties.
Yeah, right.
It
And it's
was, I
crazy.
think it shone a light on the culture that we have here, where there's a them and there's an us, there's an elite and then there's everyone else.
Right, right.
I think it's really shone a light on that, and I think that light is still getting brighter. I don't think we're quite done yet.
Well, talk about a bright light.
Illuminated those things.
What do you think about really the lunar vortex that we're in? Because we switched also into the age of Aquarius, where it is a more female, positive, loving, caring, nurturing energy, where the female is going to soar. But
Yeah.
we are all, the whole cosmic universe has changed.
Yeah,
And that was just,
absolutely.
COVID was just a precursor to tell you, sit down, take a deep breath, watch what I'm about to do. God,
Mm.
spirit, universe, however you want to trick it out. Okay. It was saying, stop and pay attention. And now people are unthawing and they're right back to the same old chaos.
I don't know that we're quite right back where we are. I think
I'm not, I'm forever
there's been
changed.
a real shift. Well, just in my industry, I mean, you've been in the coaching industry for years. You've looked around. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of ego. There's a lot of work with me. I'm the best. Everyone else is rubbish. Like there's a lot of treading on others to get high, to get where you want to be. There's a real kind of culture of bashing each other down to get to where you want to be. And I saw the death of that in our industry, hopefully forever. And
Mm.
I started seeing the desire for higher standards. I started seeing the recognition of the power of what we have and what we can do to support and help people. And I started seeing people coming together and working in collaboration as in communities, connecting, and I that's where I'm seeing real changes, real power shifts. For example, looking at people who are struggling with mental health issues,
Mm.
recognizing that a lot of our individual unique communities and counties and areas are setting up their own programs, recognizing that rich people get to lie on a couch and pay for therapy, and poor people get a label and get a pill if they're lucky, and
Right.
recognizing, okay, there is a them and us, there's an unequal society, what can we do? And I'm seeing so many people in their communities stepping up and taking action and doing something about the inequalities,
Well, that's
doing something
beautiful.
about and it's changing. I don't think the media really film it and talk about it.
Uh,
That doesn't sell.
no, well, that's why we have podcasts so that we can talk about it and we can share it because we're on the ground.
Yeah.
We are doing the groundwork. So, what happened to the show? Did you stop the radio show as well?
No, I'm still doing the radio show.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about the framework of the radio show and how people can tune in and get to know you and your guests because you're a great orator. I mean, you did a phenomenal job.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm literally just making it up and having a good time with it. But I just get to interview the most inspirational characters. I do it for me, if I'm honest. It inspires me.
Mm.
But I hear people talking about health, about well-being, spiritual issues, like what do you do if you're hearing voices and you don't think you're insane? Are you a medium? Have you got mediumistic skills? Why it's a great forum for people who are experts in different areas. They might be spiritual leaders or gurus or monks. We've had a few monks on,
Oh, yeah.
and or therapists or coaches or practitioners of different areas. And like loads of people like don't know what the Bowen technique is, or what's the difference between Bowen and Alexandra technique, or what's
Mm,
trauma release, and what does trauma look like if we've
right.
not dealt with it, or how do I go from just being an average guy stuck in my bedroom wishing that I'd gone to university like everyone else and not really knowing who I am or where I am or what I want to do, and just feeling like a real lack of confidence, and
Right.
just
Right.
getting drunk with my mates every weekend. How do I go from like low self-esteem, low confidence, nothing's for me, to a place of high self-worth, of confidence, of knowing what I'm here for, of having a real sense of direction or even focus and clarity in your life? How do you get there? I wanted just to create a space to invite these wonderful people who had amazing messages to just come and share it.
Mm,
And it's called the Wednesday Wellbeing Show. And it's an
wow.
hour of chat, uplifting, positive, inspirational chat. And you can find me on Spotify, and you can find me on all of the podcasting platforms.
Yeah,
It's
I
there.
know, because once
Uh,
that RSS feed picks up, it's great. Don't you love the world of podcasting? I do, because again, it's an independent news source of really grassroots individuals that are
mm,
making an impact in the world. They're not just busy, they're
no,
making an impact, they're making a difference.
that's right.
So, moving forward, what are your
Mm.
plans for, I'll be like a job interviewer. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, Amanda Joy?
Well, my school has become a huge part of what I'm doing now. So I wrote a course, I got it accredited, I did all my qualifications to get to that place where I wrote it, and I had a little test run to see how it was. I had 5 students, they came on the course and they loved it. And all got accredited and all are really incredible therapists right now. Uh,
Mm.
when the lockdown came and I didn't know what I was to do, the solution was right there, and it had been what I'd always wanted to do, and I had everything to get it going, and I had the time to do it. So um, my school's really grown, and um, we've now got training centres all over the UK.
Oh, wow.
We're mostly in the northeast of England because that's where I'm based. But we're in South Tyneside, Newcastle, Harrogate, Teesside. We're in the Midlands. We're in
Mm.
the south on the south coast, on the Isle of Man. We're all over the UK. But I've also recognised, because of my years of teaching online and years of teaching English online as well.
Mm.
I recognise the need for flexible learning, because there are some really awesome nurses out there who want to train but couldn't attend all the sessions. There are some amazing carers out there who are looking to earn a better living than
Right.
£8 an hour, who would be awesome therapists, but they haven't got the time or the money to be able to do it.
Mhm.
So we're focusing on making more flexible learning options, and we're rolling out
Mm.
more flexible learning options this year, which are more retreat style face-to-face learning, but learn at your own pace modules of
Mhm.
learning, with one-to-one face-to-face supervision and support, which means that anyone can do it who has a passion, who
Mm.
has a heart for helping people. You don't have to be on a whopping great income, and we can support you to do what I've been doing for the last couple of years, and help people.
Well, tell my brains how to get in contact with you, how to get more information about that, and how to
Well,
contact you on the podcast.
Well, you can actually find the podcast and everything about me, and also you can find out about all the different training courses that we have in clinical hypnotherapy, and the other kind of continuing professional development and other healing courses that we offer as well. On the North, it's just the Northern College of Clinical Hypnotherapy, the Northern College of Clinical Hypnotherapy. Think Northern Lights. We're all about being a
Oh,
bright light in the community.
absolutely. Well, we are definitely going to check in with you, Brains. I need you to go run, don't walk. Look at my bent up card. I'm sorry. But that lets you know it's been working too. Thank you so much, Amanda Joy Harrison, for being here with me on The Edge. Brains, go and handle your business. Like, love, share, subscribe. Like, love, share, subscribe. Learn a different modality, enhance your skills, care about somebody. But the most important thing you can do is care about you. Thank you, Amanda Joy. You are the best.
Thank you.
Bye, Brains.